We have loved this campsite and are waking up not only to the sound of the creek that's next to us, but a view of a mountain. We're breaking up camp and getting ready to go over Siler Bald. Good morning, Spinner. And we got Trigger's taking down his tent.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Roadrunner had his first night in his new tent. We know he's awake, but he's focused on unpacking up his new tent. So this is what morning chores and camp looks like. I take my hammock down first thing and get my pack packed up. And got some clothes still out because it's not a chance of rain. And then while I'm doing that, my water is boiling and I'll be getting ready to have my breakfast while the rest are finishing up their work. We, every night before we go to bed, we talk about our plan for the next day, and we talk about what time we're going to leave camp, and it's just everybody's responsibility to do their part to be ready as part of the team to go. And so this morning it's at 8:30 that we're headed out. We know what our goals are for today. We're going over Siler Bald, and then we're meeting our hosts at our new B&B, where we're going to slack pack for the next 2 days. Because we're supposed to have some pretty crummy weather. This is what happens when we come up out of the gap and onto a hilltop, and we have not had cell phone coverage in 18 hours. Everybody's texting their wives. I'm texting my husband. We're all getting our days started right, getting a little love from home. Still heading up to Siler Bald. It's really getting beautiful. Coming up the trail. And suddenly there's grass. And it's gonna go up to the top of the bald, which is where we're gonna go. We're gonna leave our packs here, just take our wallets and cell phones and GPS devices with us. And we're determined if somebody steals our packs, we'll hunt them down, slap them silly. A bald is a term for a summit that would typically, you would expect to find trees on. But instead it's covered in grasses or shrubs. And I know in New Hampshire when we have bald mountains, quite often they're as a result of forest fires. I'm not sure why here. It looks like there's almost a hay cutting operation on this mountain. But I don't know the history of why this is bald, but I would guess it's agricultural from what I'm seeing around me here. Getting to the top, you can hear me panting. It's a steep little booger. Let me just turn around and show you what I see so far. Out over the Nantahala Wilderness. We got Trigger and Spinner coming up. Roadrunner's gonna stay down lower. Just beautiful. It's such a gorgeous, gorgeous day. Wow. I'll zoom in for you.
Cell towers to the right.
Pretty, pretty, pretty. Coming down Siler Bald, and I'm noticing something that we noticed yesterday, the trees along, and then we suddenly get to a line. It's almost like an elevation mark, where these trees at this elevation all have either a fungus or an algae or something growing on them, a moss. I'm not sure what it is. If somebody can explain to me what it is, I'd love to know the background. And it really just happens at a certain elevation. It's almost like a stripe on the mountain that has all of this in the trees. It's pretty interesting. Does anybody know what that bird call is? It's like a chiva, 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 chiva. Oh, and a woodpecker. So Spinner asked me last night at camp how the trail had been for me so far, if it was meeting my expectations or if it was similar to what I expected. And being day 14, 2 weeks in, I think it's probably a good time to talk about that and think about it. I told her when I came into it, I was expecting that I would be doing a lot more hiking by myself and getting downtime every day on my own. I did not expect that I would pick up with a group that actually hiked together during the day. My experience on the long trail was we would see each other at shelters, and then we would hike on our own during the day and maybe meet up towards the end of the day and hike the last few miles on our way into the last shelter, and then have dinner and chat. But it's been different so far for me. We have had, either anywhere from 2 to 12 of us hiking together at a time on this trail. The last few days have been 4 of us, and it will be for the next few days as well. So that has been surprising, but not in a negative way. I thought that I would definitely need more downtime for myself each day to just let my head go. But even though I'm hiking with a group, I am getting plenty of time to just tune out, have quiet time on the trail, listen to music that my husband sends me on his song of the day. Every day he sends me a song, and I love to see. It's kind of a nice surprise each day to wake up and see what it is that he's sending me. And I'm also getting plenty of time in my hammock at night on my own. So I feel like even though I do need a lot of downtime to recharge, I am getting that. I'm not feeling deprived of that, which has been kind of a nice surprise. Other things that I have noticed, I really liked it when we were all together, of the group of a dozen. We all taught each other a lot and learned from each other and built a great camaraderie. Yesterday when we were in Franklin and we bumped into our buddy Costa, it was just so sweet to see him. It was like seeing one of my nephews. It was just such a happy surprise. And to have those relationships along the trail now, even though we're not all walking together anymore, has been such a gift. Having said that, at the end of the first week, when the group did decide to go their own ways, and we have Cisco, who is ahead of us. He's 2 days ahead of us now, and he's the only one that's ahead of us. The rest are all behind. I was starting to feel a little bit of responsibility for making the group happy, which is something I didn't really want to fall into on the trail. I wanted to hike my hike, and I felt a little bit like I was taking a lot of energy. Not that anybody was asking me to. It was just my own personal, it's who I am, my own personal makeup. I wanted to make sure the group was taken care of and everybody's needs were being met. And a lot of that pressure, since people have gone off in their own directions, has really been alleviated. And so that feels nice. Again, that was not anything that anybody else put on me. It was just my own internal, who I am and how I perform in groups. So that's not a criticism, but, and I don't even think I really realized it until we were down to just 3 or 4 people on our own, that I kind of had a, just kind of a, was able to let some of the energy out and take some breaths. So my body, 2 weeks in, is doing very well. I really am very pleased with the slower approach that we're taking of, kind of 8 to 12 mile days. And, today we're ending up at 115 miles, 2 weeks in, literally 2 weeks in, 1-0 day. We don't have another 0 planned until we get to Fontana Lodge. We're just going to keep working our way there. And with 2 days of slack packing. And again, I know that's not everybody's thing, and some people really want to stay on trail every single night, and I think that's wonderful. I'm so glad. And I'm also so glad that I can do the hike the way I want to do the hike from my body, knowing my body as I do. And, coming off of, regrowing the cartilage in my knee this past year, I really am being very cautious about building up all those muscles so that they can support what is coming ahead. You know, we've barely just scratched the surface of this trip. Close to 2,200 miles, and we're just over 100 miles at this point. So through the Smokies, it's all about building strength, building confidence, building skills. And after that, we will see where the trail takes us, the paces that it takes us as a group and as individuals. And, you know, but that's really all that I'm thinking about at this point, is just a good, solid plan for my body and for us as a community to get through the Smokies. So all things are good. I have no complaints. We've spent as many nights outdoors as we have indoors, and we've spent more nights with full packs, or more days with full packs than we have with slack packs, for sure. And 1-0. It's a lot less zeros than I had planned in. I had planned to do a 0 maybe every 4 days, but the way that we are doing this, I'm not really needing it. My body's feeling good. Today is another near zero, Nero. We're doing 5 miles. And again, so we're building up muscle, but yesterday and today are days that we're planning to have a little bit of muscle growth going on while our bodies recover and get some showers and warm beds tonight. So the zeros have not been as necessary. So I don't think that, even though we've spent some nights in B&Bs that and one hotel, that we have actually spent any different money-wise than I would have if I was taking a 0 and spending 2 nights in a hotel every 4 days. And as a result of, you know, coming back on the trail last night and hiking 4 miles in, we didn't eat dinner in town. You know, just things like that we're saving money on. Traveling in a group also, we are saving money on shuttles, because we're able to pool our resources, and even hotel rooms. You know, the men get 1 room and the women get another, and it seems to work really well. So I guess that's kind of a summary of 2 weeks into the trail and how we're doing. And so far, our group of old folks, the walking deaf we call ourselves, as we have 2 that have hearing aids, another has discovered he needs them on this trip, and I think my family would probably say that I need them as well. So we are all doing great. We have arrived at the Nantahala Mountain Lodge, where we have all showered, and Spinner and I feel like a couple of kids on Halloween. We've spread out all of our food on the floor, and we're trying to organize it and see what we like and what we want to trade, and whose house we should go back to again next year, because they give good stuff. No, we're gonna go into town today and get some stuff for the next couple of nights' dinners, staying here since we have a lovely kitchen, and just trying to get ourselves organized for moving forward.